This video is a continuation of a short series. In previous episodes I warned not to click on links and buttons in emails. In another episode I discussed some of the worst case outcomes that could occur from doing so. In this episode we'll look at an ordinary real-world case of someone who clicked the link, got phished, and what we had to do to recover from that. Together with a bonus micro portion of scam baiting. This is a true story. All of the events I describe in this video actually happened exactly as I described them to a friend of mine who I will not name. I first became aware of the problem when I received an email, apparently from this friend, who I've not spoken to in a while, saying, "Good morning, how are you? I need a favour from you. You can reach me here on email." I was immediately suspicious simply because I've seen the urgent favour scam before, and there are at least two indicators of language and spelling here that don't fit the person it claims to be from. We don't spell favour that way in England, and on email is unusual. Also, when I clicked reply on this email, it revealed that the reply to address was not the same as the sender address. It was something that was crafted to look similar but was not. I can't show you either, obviously, but it was like one digit different before the @ symbol and a different domain. We'll talk about why they divert to a different email account in a moment. So initially I did two things. I contacted this person via a completely separate channel, phone or text messages best, to warn them that it looked as though their account had been hacked. Second, I went to one of my scam baiting mailboxes and replied to this email using my fake Manuel identity, saying, "Hope you're well, what's up?" Now, I'm fairly sure my friend doesn't actually know anyone called Manuel, but almost immediately I got a reply saying, "Nice to hear from you. I need to get an Amazon gift card for a cancer patient. It's her birthday today and I totally forgot. But I can't do this now as I'm not available right now. Can you get it online and send it to her on email? I'll pay back as soon as I'm back. Kindly let me know if you can handle this." Now again, without going into details, there are so many things wrong in the language and the scenario. I can't do this now because I'm not available right now makes not a jot of sense. So while I was helping my friend to recover control of the account, I also continued playing with this scammer. I figured that wasting the scammer's time by appearing to be completely willing might divert them away from more innocent victims. I replied, "Wow, of course I'll help. Who's it for? I hadn't heard." Again, almost immediately I got the reply, "Thank you so much. The gift card is for a friend." And weirdly, "You did not ask for the amount needed on the gift card." None of this sounds or feels like anything my friend would have written, but in order to make it appear that I was completely taken in, I replied, "You didn't tell me the name of the friend. I figured you would tell me the amount, you silly old sausage. Who's it for? I had no idea one of our friends was sick. I'll send some flowers or something." No reply, so I said, "I'm going out in a minute. I could buy the card at a supermarket. What value?" The immediate reply was, "Thank you very much. The total amount she need is £200, 100 times 2, from any store around you. I need you to scratch the back of the card to reveal the PIN, then take a snapshot of it showing the PIN, and have the image attached and emailed to me. Once again, thanks and God bless." Now, I hope it's as obvious to you as it was to me that this person is a scammer fixated on extracting money in the form of gift cards. These gift cards are typically resold by the scammers at full value, so the scammer was just demanding money here, plain and simple. At this point I had sufficient clear evidence to prove that this was a scammer, so the third thing I did was to report their email account to their webmail provider. Then I carried on and I said, "Oh wow, I thought it would be like 20 quid or something. What does she need that amount for? Can you PayPal me the money for these, please?" The scammer never replied to me again after that, but I sent a few more messages to try to occupy their attention a bit, saying, "Who's it for? I should probably send something myself," and "You need to tell me who it's for, or I won't be able to personalise the card when I buy it." But nothing. It might be that the scammer realised I was going to be awkward, or it may actually be that my reporting their mailbox triggered some sort of automated review and maybe suspended their service. I hope the latter. So in a moment we'll look at what we did to recover control of the original mailbox, but first let's take a really quick look at the anatomy of this scam. It began with an email purporting to be from Yahoo, claiming that urgent action was necessary on my friend's mailbox, threatening closure of the mailbox and telling them to click on the button or link to resolve it. My friend clicked the link and was taken to a website that by now has been shut down, so I can't show it to you, but it would have been a web page that looked sufficiently like the Yahoo login page so as to be convincing. My friend thought they were logging into Yahoo to resolve the supposed account problem, but they were in fact just entering their username and password into a web page that was stealing those details for the scammer to use. The scammer then logged into my friend's account and did the following things for the following reasons. They changed the account password to try to lock the rightful owner out. They changed the alternative recovery email address to their own email account to try to prevent the rightful owner regaining control. Fortunately, it seems they were not permitted to change both the recovery email address and the recovery phone number at the same time, and this was vital in later recovering the account. They set up some filtering rules so that any incoming replies would be diverted directly to a folder. You might think that changing the password would have prevented the rightful owner from seeing any such replies, but in some cases, things like smartphone apps may use a connectivity method that uses tokens or some such that can persist for a little while after a password change on the main account. In some cases of account compromise, I've seen the scammers just log in and quietly set up forwarding rules to send themselves a copy of incoming emails so that later, when some opportunity arises, such as a discussion about a payment, they can intervene in such a way to try to get their hands on that money. But in this case, they just harvested the contacts from the account and sent them all the email the same as I received. With the reply to address set as their own webmail account that had a similar looking address, they run the actual scam out of their own mailbox in order to try to continue scamming the contacts, even if the phished person regains control of their mailbox. Then, for the scammer, it's a race against time to try to hustle those contacts into sending gift cards before news gets out that the account is compromised. In this case, they used a story about needing to buy a gift for a cancer patient, but others I've seen include a story about being mugged whilst travelling abroad and needing money to pay for return flight tickets and documents. So this is just about as plain vanilla as a phishing scam gets. No clever technical hacks or exploits, just stealing account credentials by persuading someone to click and give those credentials away. Then, abusing the compromised account to ask for money. Here's what I did to help recover the account, and it's based on a 5-step breach response plan that I've used before in my IT role. The 5 steps are identify, contain, eradicate, recover, review. These are pretty much industry standard, by the way. I didn't invent this. All I ever do is tailor the detail within this framework to fit the environment and situation. So, identify. Confirm that what you suspect is happening is actually happening. This is what I did right at the start. Recognise the potential that my friend's account had been breached and take steps to inquire and confirm that it had indeed happened. Identify the scope of the problem, in this case identifying the compromised account and the affected contacts, measuring the scale of the issue. Contain. This is arguably the most important step in the response plan. Halt the problem, limit further damage. So in this case, and acting swiftly, we shut the scammer out of the compromised account by invoking the recovery process using the phone method, which was still in place. Then immediately change the password to something new, unique and hard to guess. We also removed the scammer's email account from the alternative recovery options and reinstated the correct recovery email address. If we'd not been able to use one of the existing recovery methods, it would have probably been necessary to try to make direct contact with the support services of the mail service to establish that my friend was the rightful owner of the mailbox and persuade that support service to intervene. Eradicate. That is, kill off all the effects of the breach. So we contacted all of the people we thought might have been involved to warn them. We posted messages on my friend's social media feeds to warn people not to trust any request for money. Recover. Put things back as they should be. So we deleted all those filtering rules the scammer had set up, we checked in sent items for the outgoing messages, and followed those up with additional warnings. We set new passwords, new recovery options, and also we checked in the account whether there were any unknown devices or sessions out there which still had a persisting connection, and killed those connections. Review. This is the point where you can begin to breathe properly again. Retrace actions and try to understand what happened and learn how to prevent it happening again. In this case, and in the cold light of day, my friend reread the initial fake Yahoo email and was able to easily recognise that this had been a scam. It was just the pressure of the moment and a lapse of attention, and that's all it takes. So we got it all back under control, but the outcome is by no means guaranteed to go this well. In some cases, it may be very much more difficult to recover control of the compromised account than this, and in some cases the damage could be much greater than this, so careful prevention is always better than urgent cure. I hope that for my friend a lesson sinks in from this encounter. It's the same lesson that I've laboured in every episode in this series. The lesson is this: you should always regard with high suspicion any message that's asking you to click on something inside the message, especially if it's demanding urgent action or threatening some immediate and severe consequence. Suspect by default, because official communication channels from Yahoo, Microsoft, eBay, Amazon, PayPal, your bank, or even the police generally don't make absurdly urgent demands or threaten severe consequences. Panic is not your friend here. Before you act, before you click, stop, breathe, look, think. In the next episode, I think we'll look at the kind of safe and sensible precautions and preparations that people can and should take to make their online accounts more secure, and to limit the potential damage should any kind of breach occur. But for now, I hope this was interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.